Over the last few years, we've seen artists come and go, and some have cemented their name for themselves in the music industry. Some have become fan favourites for sticking in their lane and delivering exactly what you need for them time after time, but some have found themselves through music and there has been a noticeable maturity in their sound and lyrics. It's an interesting thing to grow up with an artist. Their outlook on life changes as they get older, and the sounds they produce managing to resonate with the audience that grows too. Now in this video, we're not going to talk about artists that have just switched their style or genre. A few mentions of this may be Post Malone, who started off really alternative R&B lane and has now moved towards indie pop, country vibes with guitars and live sounding drums instead of drum machines and trap style hi-hats. Or even less known artists like Yeek, who has experimented with lots of different styles from indie to R&B to beats inspired by UK garage. As versatile and as talented as these artists are, it's hard to say that they have grown musically, as this would imply one genre of music is better than the other. And that's not what I'm trying to do. Rap is not better than country, indie is not better than R&B, it's all subjective and what speaks to the listener is personal. Today we're going to be talking about the evolution of two artists that I feel have grown with their music, whose personalities, struggles and inner thoughts have evolved with their lives, and their production and words have been a personification of them in that moment. The first artist that has to be mentioned is Tyler the Creator. He has now racked up over 50 million monthly listeners on Spotify alone, making him the 48th ranked on the platform at the time of making this video. Tyler has always been unapologetically himself, with personal lyrics, funny deliveries, all the way through to the outrageous thoughts in his own head. In the early days, him and Odd Future had a cult-like following with unwavering support from loyal fans. Tyler is known for his production as well as his hand in the composition of tracks, as we can see from his early pitch he sent to labels that highlights his brash personality at the time. Tyler went from the raw and gritty production of Goblin in 2011 with brutal, sadistic and angry lyrics to the complex music of his latest tape, where Tyler almost orchestrates every element as a conductor on the project. Starting with the earliest music that I personally heard from Tyler, Goblin. This is a well put together, thought out project. I feel like Tyler got misjudged by the masses with this tape as a chance to say vulgar things for attention, when in reality it is all put together to tell a story of a young man who is angry at the world, his personal life, and the industry. The feeling resonated with teens especially, who at that time in their life may have been feeling the same, even down to the therapist type character that travels with us through the album. We can see that this is a thought out piece of art. It's addressing the bleak and depressing thoughts in Tyler's head from a very introduction of the tape, when the theme is talking about taking their own life. There is lots of music that talks about the inner struggle and the sadness artists feel, but this is a blatant and in your face without care of how it's perceived. This may rub people the wrong way, but to others it's exactly what they needed to hear at the time to not feel so alone. However, we still see the melodic side of Tyler's creativity come out in this project. Like in the song Nightmare, the delicate keys and chords show us an insight into the musical capability of Tyler. At this point it is simple but creative, creating a unique sound. The content of projects like Goblin and Bastard was so controversial that he ended up being banned from the UK. Fast forward to 2024, Tyler will play a UK tour with 3 nights in one of London's biggest venues. This is an incredible achievement to be able to fill a venue with fans for 3 nights in the same arena, especially the size of the shows he'll be performing. Now that we're in 2024, we might as well look at the latest piece of art released by Tyler. From production, lyrics to cryptic and interesting visuals, this project is high production. The drums sound like they've changed to a live feel, with lots of them sounding like they're being played by a marching band, which goes with Tyler's look for the album being some kind of general. Tyler still tells a story in his music, like the song Hey Jane, but the topics of conversation have changed. He is telling us about his life now and other people his age that he interacts with. This, just like his earlier projects, resonates with his listeners. Tyler himself has grown up, and so have his fans, and they have been on a journey with him navigating life. This video isn't a deep dive into the discography of an artist or a breakdown of a project. It's just a viewpoint of an artist's growth that will hopefully make you revisit some of their music and look for what you think has changed and how they have developed for yourself. I think with Tyler the Creator, it's fair to say that he has evolved over the years to be an artist he is today. He hasn't jumped genres like MGK to say that he is evolving. He is himself and he is his own genre. The music has developed as he has. The complexity, the originality and the person. Thought has gone into every crevice of every project he has done, and I can't help but admire the growth. The second artist that I feel blossomed into themselves was Mac Miller. Starting off as what people described as a frat rapper with kids, to his drug-induced, mind-bending faces all the way to an introspective circles. This man went through the ups and downs of life and painted the picture for us beautifully. He went through the stages of his life with his audience and had a way of showcasing the struggles of a mind that we all felt we shared. Kids was fun and warming to the soul, sitting with a few beers in a field somewhere with your mates, with kids on the speaker without a care in your early teens. At least that's how I indulged in the project. He had yet to hit the harsh realities of life that were still coming our way. Mac experimented with sounds as he got older, taking influences from smooth jazz and alter egos like Larry Lovestein to the darkest thoughts of other alter egos like Delusional Thomas. Mac has always been an explorer of sound. The really special thing with Mac Miller was his ability to portray his life in that moment, where he was right then. The music was not made for us. He didn't need to fit a mold and worry about the last thing he made. He was always growing and the music was an expression of himself. He began to have much more of a hand in production all the way down to playing the instruments and pushing himself to sing. It's truly captivating to have watched this young, happy-go-lucky man go through the hardships of the world and make it through the other side and produce a project like Circles which sounded so peaceful. Those same happy-go-lucky kids who were listening to his early music all went through something in their lives growing up, and Mac was the voice for change, and that was a parallel with his musical journey. Like I said, I don't want this to be an hour-long deep dive video. I want it to be a trigger for you to look at the artists that you grew up with, how they influenced you, how they changed and developed, and how you may have done the same in your life alongside them. If you'd like to hear me go into more detail about these artists or any other artists, let me know in the comments because I really had to contain myself from going off on tangents in this first video. And if you'd like to check out my own music and what I'm up to, find me on all your streaming things at BenObi, BenObi, and the same on all your social media things. Okay, cool, peace and love, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.